Hey guys, it's me, Carly, coming at you with another video. And as promised, I am here to give you my top 10 worst male characters list because a few days ago I gave you my top 10 female characters list. And I'm filming in my basement and not in my closet this time, so you'll have to excuse the lighting. And I wanted to come on here, show you my new hairdo. This is the hair I showed you in my birthday haul video. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a tint of red. And I thought it looked cute. And I have makeup on. And I just got my stash wax and my eyebrows waxed. And I put some makeup on because I just felt like getting purty. So anyways, here are my top 10 worst male characters. Now keep in mind this is just my personal opinion. You are free to respectfully disagree or agree or whatever and give me your top 10 worst male characters. So kicking off the list at number 10 is Jake Salt from Famous in Love. I've ranted about him before, and I wondered if Famous in Love didn't get canceled after season 2, I might grow to tolerate Jake because I don't like Jake because honestly he reminds me of Mon-El from Supergirl, but just not as not as douchey as Mon-El, and not as and he isn't a slave owner like Mon-El. But I don't like the way he treats girls because I said in my top 10 characters that deserve better list that I didn't really care for Lexi, but I thought she deserved better. And Jake, I don't like the way, even as someone who doesn't like the character Lexi, I was very not comfortable. I was very uncomfortable with how Jake treated her because he sleeps with her for days on end, for weeks, just to try and get a promotion for his script. And I didn't like it. I mean, when he didn't get what he wanted, he totally just ghosted her and dropped her like a hat and blamed her for his failing script. And and as Paige would say, nothing is ever his fault. Because it feels like everything is everyone else's fault but his. He falls for Billy, another girl that he asked to join his movie, but he is dating Paige. I mean, yes, you fall for different people all the time. And I really don't like Jake because he's an asshole. And see, he does all of these things. Like, he does all these really shitty things. For example, when Paige is trying to help him get a script or find an actress for stealing Georgia, he's kind of a dick about it, and then is nice to her when she is unsuccessful in helping him. But when Paige says no to drinking, and he's sitting down with this producer guy played by Max Adler, Paige is like, no, I'm not drinking. I have to leave early. I have to go to my Scorsese audition. I have a photo shoot. I need to leave early. I'm not going to be drinking. She makes that perfectly clear. The guy pressures her into doing shots. The producer guy keeps pressuring her into doing shots. She looks to Jake and he's like, he doesn't even have her back. He's just like, no, the lady said no. She's good. Just, can you respect that? But no. So Paige ends up doing these shots because her dick of a boyfriend doesn't back her up. She gets so drunk that Jake loses her at a party. And he's so self-indulgent that he's talking to the producer and flirting with Billy. And like, oh, I need to go check on Paige. And Rainer ends up taking her home. ends up taking Paige home and nursing her, if you will. I'm sorry. This camera is flipped and it drives me nuts how it's flipped. I don't like it, sorry. So if I don't use the correct hand, don't pay attention. But Raynor takes Paige home, but then Jake sees Raynor and automatically accuses Paige of cheating, even though he's the one who pressured her into shots and he's the one who lost her at a party, and he treats his girlfriend like absolute shit. He doesn't wait for her to finish stealing Georgia because of what he saw, because Raynor was there. He gets mad at Paige for cheating, which I'm not a big fan of cheating, which I'm going to drag Oliver for that in, like, when he comes up on this list. But Jake deserved it. Jake, like, he deserved to have Paige cheat on him. He treated her like crap. Nothing is ever his fault, and he was just emotionally needy, and he didn't move in with her, and he's like, I don't see how you cheating is my fault, and Paige just rips him a new one. I loved it. It reminded me so much of Kara ripping Mon-El to shreds, which I'll talk about in a few minutes when Mon-El comes up. But Jake just is so needy, and he acts like a small child when he doesn't get his way, and it bothers me, and I don't like Jake. I'm sorry, but he was like the worst character for me on Famous in Love. And he's supposed to be portrayed as a nice guy, but he's not, and he's an asshole, and he's kind of ableist when he confessed his feelings towards Paige and the way he went about it. And he did it in front of Raynor after Raynor was having an emotional meltdown on national TV. After Raynor had a big meltdown, it's just, I don't like it. They were not good together. And they're on my worst couples list for a reason. Number 9 is Sinbad from Sinbad. Okay, Sinbad is the worst protagonist I've ever... Well, okay, he's one of the worst protagonists I've ever seen. And Marina... I said it right this time, Chris. Wicked... See, I kept saying Mariana. Marina. Just making sure so my boyfriend knows I said it right and not wrong. Okay. Is the actual hero of this movie. In fact, she's more the protagonist than Sinbad because she actually gets stuff done. She actually saved him from the sirens, which the sirens are pretty women who sing and lure men to crash their boats. And in this case, thank goodness she's straight. Otherwise, if she had been a lesbian or bisexual, she probably would have died too. And so she ends up saving the boat. She ends up, if it hadn't been for her sneaking on the boat, Sinbad, because he's an asshole, and if he wanted to be a good person, he would have been called Saint Good. Just saying. See what I did there? I'm so funny. No, I'm not. But Sinbad was willing to let his friend Proteus, I forget how you pronounce his name. Please correct me how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. He was willing to let his best friend since childhood die for a crime they both did not commit because Eris, by the way, she is so fine. She's so hot. Like, she's one of the world's sexiest villains I've ever seen in my life. And she's voiced by Michelle Pfeiffer, which makes it even sexier because Michelle Pfeiffer is just known for playing really hot, attractive women. Catwoman and Eris, yeah. But anyway, Eris frames Sinbad and steals this book of worlds, I forget what the book is called, so, because it's been a while since I've watched Sinbad. And she wants to set up the king to die to cause world chaos. And she sends Sinbad on this quest, and his friend Sinbad's friend, being the good friend that he is, offers to take Sinbad's place. But Sinbad's like, what are you doing? And then Proteus, I don't know how you say his name, I'm sorry, said that he would do the same. And Sinbad's like, no, I wouldn't. I'm just like, no, I'm not really gonna go find the book. I'm gonna run off to Fiji, which Sinbad honestly planned to do, so he was okay with his friend dying as long as he gets to go live happily in Fiji and bang a bunch of hot women. And the romance between Marina and Sinbad is terrible. I don't like that couple. But the only reason I like it is because Sinbad looks like Hook and Regina looks like Marina from Once Upon a Time. And I ship Hook and Regina, so that's kind of an animated version of them. Except Sinbad's more of a douche. And if you want to hear more about my rant on Sinbad, I will link a link. I will link my Sinbad review video down below, and you'll hear me mispronounce Marina as Mariana a bunch of times. And Marina loves the ocean, and that's why her character's name is Marina. My boyfriend corrected me. I just don't like Sinbad. And who wants their friends to die? Who would let an innocent man die for a crime he didn't commit? So they could just go run off to Fiji. Sinbad's the worst. And he's number 9 on this list, but I was thinking about dropping him lower, but oh well. I have my list in front of me, and I put it on Tumblr, so I'll link you the list below. Okay, number 8, shocker, is Oliver Queen. I've gone on rants about him in the past, but basically, Oliver Queen from Arrow is a complete 180 from who he should be. Oliver Queen is supposed to be a billionaire playboy, which he was at the time. But now he's not a billionaire. He cheated on he was so emotionally abusive to Laurel that he gaslit her, and he, and like blamed her for things that were never her fault. Like, he gets back with Sarah, and the one scene that really puts me over the edge is the scene where he's arguing in the hallway in Laurel's apartment after Laurel storms out of her apartment because Mr. Dickhead and her sister Spread Eagle Legs, sorry, I had to say that, Spread Eagles, Sarah, get back together, and they're making flirting eyes, and Laurel doesn't even get time to process this in her mind, and he just treats her like absolute garbage throughout her addiction, and he's just ableist to her, and I hate Oliver. He's so hypocritical. And then he tried to gaslight Barry in the crossover because, like, oh, what, you can't do anything without the peanut gallery in your ear, without your wife in your ear. I'm like, well, unlike you, Mr. Dickhead, Barry and Iris have an open communication relationship, and they actually talk about their problems. You make a kill list and go around snapping people's necks. You constantly berate someone for doing stuff that you have done, and you're not even a good father to your child. I mean, you let Fifi send him away to boarding school, and he didn't even get to spend the holidays with you. And you need to take responsibilities for your actions, young man. Ugh. I don't like Oliver. I don't think I can ever like Oliver. No. And also, just a side note on Arrow. What is with all these side children? I mean, Oliver with William, Moira and Malcolm having Thea. Well, she was supposed to be with Robert, even though Robert cheated on her. And then Robert has a side child with another woman now, Emiko. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And it's just like all these damn side children, and now Oliver and Felicity have a daughter named Mia because, God forbid, you can't come up with something original, even though it should have been Oliver and Dinah Laurel Lance's daughter, Olivia. And you have all these side characters and all these rip-off OC characters from other from the Green Arrow comics, and no one really gives a shit about them because they're terrible. They're terrible knockoffs, and it's, ugh. God, I'm sorry. I don't like Oliver. I really want him to go away. And season 8 is only going to be 10 seasons for Arrow, and he needs to, like, fucking go away. And they need to revamp it and get Katie Cassidy back to play Laurel. Because what they've done with the Green Arrow show, just, I don't even read the comics, but I feel pissed off on behalf of comic book fans. I'm pissed off on your behalf, and I'm just pissed off because Oliver is a shit character. Piss poor character development. It's always 2 steps forward, 10 steps back with him. Same with Felicity. I didn't like the way he fought Thea in front of everyone when he could have just talked things out. Because she gets yelled at for breaking a guy's arm. Even though he goes around and even though he's gone around in the past and broken people's necks and has killed people, even though there was another way to do it, but she gets yelled at for breaking a guy's arm. It's just, the mass amounts of misogyny in this show just, oh, I fucking hate Oliver. Sorry, but he's literally the fucking worst. And he doesn't deserve any woman on that show. And the fact that he's gonna have his own child again, no, it bothers me, it scares me. Number 7, Mon-El. Okay, Mon-El is originally a kid in the comic books from what I've heard, and he's got his name from a calendar. And he's supposed to be a fun character. Instead, you make this Mon-El, frat boy of the universe, as Kara would put. He's a dickhole. And he disrespected Kara at every turn, and he constantly berated her, and yeah, he's a former slave owner, because Supergirl is supposed to be about feminism, justice, truth, and whatnot, and how is giving Kara, who is supposed to be about justice, a liberal, freedom, giving her a misogynistic slave owner as a love interest and think that's a good idea? I mean, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. He's misogyn. Okay, so at Kara's job, she's trying to get him a job and show him how the real world works. And don't say he doesn't get it because he's an alien, because there's a bunch of aliens with regular jobs working and making their money. But Mon-El just wants to be muscle. And I mean, he not only dinks around at Kara's work, he eats licorice, doesn't know how to answer the phone, someone gives Mon-El a stupid credit card, and he is screwing Eve Tessmacher in the closet. Even though Kara is trying to vouch for him, and oh my goodness, like Paige from Famous in Love, Kara has you fucked me over type moment and gets to rip Mon-El a new one. I was so happy, even though she was mind controlled, but Mon-El is literally the worst character to come on to Supergirl. And he's not even interesting. He's just boring. And I didn't like the fact that Mon-El and Kara became love interests, and he replaced the black man. A slave owner replaced the black man love interest. That still is, I'm still not going to let that go. And also, I guess the only positive thing, because this is for the actress, congratulations, Melissa Benoist and Chris Wood, on your upcoming marriage. I wish you guys well. I didn't like your character's relationship, but thankfully I hope Chris Wood is nothing like Mon-El, because I would stab Mon-El with lead if I got the chance. Because Mon-El is just the worst. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Number 6. Moses Polukwe. Lilo's dance teacher. He's on my most annoying cartoon characters list, and now he's on my most annoying male characters list. He made number 1 on my most annoying cartoons list, but he's number 6 on my most annoying males list, because there's more males annoying than him. Okay, I don't like this guy because whenever Lilo is bullied, and he actively sees it happen, Lilo's the one getting in trouble, even though it should be Myrtle getting in trouble. But he's worse than Myrtle to me because he doesn't do anything about the bullying that Lilo faces. He just, like, Lilo, you should be reasonable. Even though Myrtle is the one over here gaslighting her, and he's not saying anything to Myrtle, and he's not keeping Myrtle in check or the other girls in check that are bullying Lilo. Lilo ends up in trouble all the time. And it's like, I don't like teachers like that. I don't like adult figures like that who see the bullying happening in front of them and I hate it. They don't do anything and they see it happening right in front of their face, but nothing gets said about it. And that is what bothers me about him. And I don't really like the character. I hate his character so much. Number 5, Thomas Humphrey. He causes a fight, from Orange is the New Black, by the way. He causes a fight because he's trying to gaslight Suzanne. Well, he does gaslight her. Okay, we know that she's mentally unstable. We all know this. We all know that Suzanne Warren, as much I love her to pieces, she's like one of my favorite characters from Orange is the New Black, but she's completely mentally unstable, and she keeps saying and keeps giving the warning, like, I don't want to fight, and he's trying to get this white supremacist after she's taking a nap on these chairs, and he pulls it and she falls down. And he's betting on who would win a fight. And Suzanne is like, no, I don't want to fight. And she's the only one singled out for laughing, even though everyone was laughing. It's like, you're going to let a black retard laugh at you. Oh, that word. Oh, God, I hate it. And I'm just like, leave her alone. You're abusing your power. But this other girl says, I'll fight Suzanne. And this was a potential love interest for Suzanne. I mean, they've done stuff and they liked each other. But Suzanne is like, no, I don't want to fight. She keeps saying this over and over. She gives a warning. I don't want to fight. I don't care to fight you. Please stop. Don't push. But finally, Suzanne reaches her breaking point and just whaps, and she starts wailing on this other inmate. And Thomas Humphrey caused the fight. And sorry to say this, but Humps makes Pornstache look like an angel. And we all know Pornstache was not an angel. Like, that's how terrible he is. He got Suzanne to wail on this girl. Like, to the point where her nose was probably broken because she was bleeding. Blood is, like, beside her. And they both have to go to the hospital because her face is all bruised up from Suzanne wailing on it. And 2 other inmates have to pull Suzanne off the girl because you don't push someone to their breaking point and then expect bad things not to happen. You just don't do that. And it just made me really sick because it makes me think that there are guards. I hate to think that there's guards out there like that, but I'm sure there are, and it's gross. And it's like, you gaslighted a mentally unstable black woman to do this. And after Suzanne is crying and the other inmate that she beat up is laying on the floor bleeding, he's like, oh, I just made $20. I really wanted Suzanne to, like, attack that police officer and go wham, 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 wham. Because, he was horrible. And he needs to, like, get his head rammed through a cement wall because he's awful. I'm sorry. Okay, I need to calm down. Number 4 on this list. Pablo Money, also from Famous in Love. I liked him and Tangy at first, but then he turned out to be abusive and mean and rude, and I just, like, no, stop it. He's a dickhole. And, now that season 2 is canceled, and I have to sit around and wonder what the hell happened in Tangy's hotel room, and what he did, and is Jordan going to jail, and who was put on the stretcher? Was it Jordan, or was it Pablo, or who was it? I need a season 3 Marlene King. Please reassemble the cast and reboot Famous in Love, because it's bothering me not knowing what happened. I don't like how they didn't greenlight season 3. I feel like that show could have gone for 6 seasons. And we could have gotten a focus on a different character each season. And that would have been helpful. But now I'll just probably make up a fan fiction at some point. Yeah, so Pablo Money is abusive. Physically abusive. And just, I don't like him. And Tangy deserves better. And Tangy's my favorite character. She's also the sexiest character on the show. Like, because she's gorgeous and I love her style. But she's my favorite, and Paige was my second favorite. Number 3. Y'all are not going to be surprised on this list is Harrison Wells, every iteration of him. Okay, Flash, I don't know why you think we need a Wells every season. I mean, 2 seasons was good enough. We had we had original Earth 1 Wells before Eobard Thawne took over his body, put on his body, like, as an outfit, literally. And then we had Eo Wells, and then we had Earth 2 Harrison Wells, Harry. After Harry, they needed to the Wells character, because his face has caused nothing but trauma for the whole team. He's ruined an innocent... Eobard Thawne has ruined an innocent man's life and made him think he was a killer. Made people think he was a killer, and that's not the case. I don't know why we need him. Yeah, he's a genius and whatnot. And I feel like Tom's acting has dwindled in season 5. Because, first off, Sherlock, I liked Harry Wells before he became abusive. Because at least with him, he had a story going. Harry Wells at least had a story going for him. It was a good way to introduce Jesse Quick, or a new iteration of Jesse Quick, and get speed that way, and Barry could have been a mentor. That was like a great setup, and it barely went anywhere. And now Harry Wells is losing his mind. He strangles Cisco when he's mad. He throws Cisco's things and breaks them. He was annoying. H.R. Wells was super hella annoying when he lied to the team about being a scientist when really he was an author. He was making money off of their suffering in the future. Thank God he died, because he was super fucking annoying. Let's see, who else? And then the Council of Wells was not necessary. I didn't need to see that. He just annoyed me. I don't understand why we keep bringing in a new Wells. I don't get it. And then we had Sherlock. Now we have Sherlock Wells. By the way, that accent is nails on a chalkboard. And I already didn't like Sherlock Wells, but I just watched a scene of him outing Nora. And I know that Nora deserves to be outed, but not like that, because why? Why did you make him a detective when we have Ralph and Joe and Iris as an investigative journalist, but we don't, like, you just had to give Tom something to do, which I really wish you wouldn't, because all the Wells character does now is take screen time from valuable characters. He's a boring ass white character, I'm sorry, who takes screen time from characters of color, and it bothers me. It's like, we could have like Cisco vibing on Nora. That would have been a good way to go. Now Cisco suddenly doesn't want his powers. We could have had Iris investigating Sherlock on why he was investigating Nora. We could have had that. We could have gotten so many things done. And somebody might leave the Flash. I pray it's either Tom or Danielle, more so Danielle, because you already know I can't fucking stand Danielle Panabaker. But Sherlock Wells, God. And the hair is annoying. His accent is annoying. He is annoying. I don't like his look. I don't like him. I hate him so much. I hate every new iteration of Wells because I'm sick of having that character. And now we got to deal with E.O. Wells again, because he went to Earth X and killed Earth X Wells and put on the face again, which I don't know why we need to have Eobard Thawne wearing Wells's face again. How about we just have, like, I wish Matt Fletcher would come back as Eobard Thawne, because at least he's a good actor. He looks the part more than Tom Cavanagh does. I mean, Tom Cavanagh was great in season 1, but Tom Cavanagh is a great actor. But I don't see the need to have another iteration of Wells. If you wanted a Wells, y'all should have just kept Harry Wells. Or make Wells a more sporadic character. Not make him a season regular and bring in another Wells. I don't understand why we keep needing another Wells. It's like the same old format, and it's not working. It's stagnant at this point. Y'all need to get out of Star Labs. You need to get rid of the Wells characters. And the fact that we spent an episode on Sherlock's four ex-wives who are the same person, a variation of the same person on a different Earth, on 4 different Earths. I was not okay with that. I hated it. And I don't like it at all. And I don't like how I don't know. Now I'm annoyed with them, even though it's not their fault, even though I like the way they ripped them to shreds, because that was funny, because I hate this new Wells. I hate it. I hate all the iterations of Wells. We don't need him. And now there's Eobard Thawne wearing Earth X Wells' face, even though it's the same face. And all he's done is cause tragedy. And that face has just caused tragedy. And it really irked the shit out of me when Nora, in the beginning of season 5, was looking at a picture of Team Flash with Caitlin, Cisco, and E.O. Wells in a wheelchair. And I don't know why they would hold on to that picture, because E.O. Wells betrayed the team. E.O. Wells has murdered Cisco, and I just don't like the new Wells. They need to get rid of that character now. I wish Sherlock Wells would just go away. He needs to fucking go away. Sorry for swearing. I hate the new Wells. Actually, I hate all the Wells, but except for Earth 1 Wells before Eobard took over his body. But yeah. Sorry. Number 2 is Ezra Fitz from Pretty Little Liars. Okay, girls only like Ezra Fitz because he's hot, and I will give him that. He is hot. But he stalks underage girls, got with Arya knowing who she was and knowing she was a minor, had a relationship with Allison at some point, also when Allison was a minor and he was the adult and he didn't do anything to stop it. He gaslit Spencer by stealing her personal records. They're called personal records for a reason. And gave them to Arya, which is a huge no-no, by the way. That's like HIPAA law, even though like that's for elderly people. I don't know what you'd call that, but that's confidential information, and you don't do that. That's against the law. Let's see. He has chased Arya through the woods and trapped her on a Ferris wheel, and he didn't get to go to prison. He ends up marrying Arya because he groomed her into thinking that was a normal, healthy relationship. Because it's just my dream to marry my predatory stalker guy. And I don't believe Arya... I don't know if I'd call it Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe I would. So what happened to Arya and Ezra, because I feel like that's more Stockholm Syndrome. Because Ezra has manipulated her to be with him and thinking that's a normal relationship. And I think that's really gross. He should have gone to prison. And Arya should have looked at that and thought that was not normal. It's just, it doesn't send a good message to young girls out there thinking they can get with their hot teacher. Ezra Fitz should have gone to prison like he was going to in that dream. Having sex with a minor, statutory rape, stealing a student's profile and giving it to another student, even if it's your friend's, no, not okay. But then again, he doesn't care about the law because he's guilty of statutory rape and grooming a teenage girl. So, yeah. And stalking underage girls. So he needs to go to jail. And he has anger issues. Number 1 on this list, Damon Salvatore. Yeah, I know, shock, right? Because Damon Salvatore and Bonnie Streetman are the reason I won't get into Vampire Diaries. And people, like, coddle Damon, and I don't know why. He's raped Carolyn. He raped Andy. He's raped several of Elena's friends. He's even raped Elena because blood sharing. And he killed a pregnant woman. And when Elena said no to him, and if Elena doesn't give Damon what he wants, he goes around killing people with his humanity switch on. And people say Stefan is worse. No. Okay, yeah, Stefan did horrible things as the Ripper because he had an addiction. But Damon kills people for fun and does it in front of Elena to punish her. He's threatened to break Elena's arm. He's manhandled Elena. He's belittled and berated Elena, and it's gross. And people think that that's normal. Girls, I advise you to get help if you think that's okay. And now Delana has children because they made a joke about it. Actually, Damon and Elena even made a joke. We should have 2 children. So when mommy and daddy are busy, they can keep each other company. If you get my drift. Who does that? And the only time he is likable is when he's getting hurt or stabbed or when he's with Bonnie. But Damon is literally the worst, and I don't like Damon. Like, I want him to fall on a bunch of sharp objects and Bruvain and die for good and not be brought back. And die again in hell and not be brought back. Even Kai knows he's a psychopath. And Kai, of all people, should not be talking because Kai murdered his siblings. And I like Kai, and he's played by the same actor who plays Mono. But I shouldn't like Kai, but I like him more than Damon, and that's a terrible comparison. Because Kai is just as sadistic and fucked up as Damon is. I think Damon is even more fucked up. Because he killed a fucking pregnant woman. I'm sorry I'm swearing. But I hate Damon so much, and he needs to rot in hell forever and die or suffer a horrendous, torturous death and an afterlife. He needs to suffer. Because Damon is literally the worst. And he stole his brother's girlfriend, stole his brother's whole life, and Stefan is the one who had to die. Not Damon, but Stefan. At least Stefan would actually atone for the bad things he's done. But Damon is a serial rapist, is a serial killer, and does all these does all of this horrible shit to do horrible shit. Sorry, I got a little ranty. I knew that was coming when I was talking about some of these characters. And sorry, I didn't mean to swear a whole bunch, but I ended up doing that. I apologize. But anyways, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Leave suggestions. And have a good one.